Hello, I'm Father Damien, I'm parish priest of Our Lady of the Holy Souls in Kensal, Newtown. This short talk is going to be about Saint Mark, Apostle and Evangelist, on this his feast day. I'm reminded of a book, the book A Secret Garden, and it was also made into a film. I'm going to butcher it because it's a long time ago since I had seen it. You may or may not have read it and seen the film. But from what I can remember, there's a little girl called Mary. She was pretty sickly. She ends up having tragedy strikes, and she's not very well liked. But she ends up having to to move to England in Yorkshire, I think it is, and live in an old manor estate. And because she's living in the Yorkshire moors or dales or whatever you call it, she gets a lot better and she starts to thrive. And one time on this estate, she ends up finding a secret garden that's beautiful. She ends up finding a little boy who's living in the house who also has his own troubles, and she ends up taking him out to the secret garden too. And look, both of them suffered from being kind of inward looking and sickly. But as soon as they start going out, they become more healthy, more alive, more human. And the reason I thought about this story is because this reminds me of Saint Mark and his being an apostle evangelist. Saint Mark writes Jesus' words, "Go out to the whole world, proclaim the good news to all creation." So Saint Mark was an apostle evangelist. That's how the church describes him. It doesn't describe Saint Mark, the first priests, one of the first priests, as a shepherd, the good shepherd. It's not used. It's an evangelist and an apostle evangelist. So to go out is to be apostolic, and to proclaim the good news is evangelistic. And it could be argued that the church is like Mary in the secret garden, or the little boy, I think his name is Colin, who's sick because they're stuck inside. And it's only when they go out and they're kind of impelled to go out that they realise what they're capable of, that they realise their true human dignity. And this is so true of the church. The church is inward looking. It tends to be quite inward looking. And we're called to go out. In Ephesians 4:11, it says, Jesus gives everyone a gift. Some are apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some shepherds, some teachers. And it's argued by many people in the church and outside the church, other Christian, non-Catholic Christian leaders, that the Catholic Church has lots of leaders who are shepherds. That means priests who can care and nurture for the community, which is great. We need this. But there are lots of priests who are teachers, priests who are very academic, who can write very good essays. There are lots of priests who are very prophetic, that means they're very spiritual, have a vertical connection with God, or they're very keen on social justice, the horizontal, the other humans. And again, this is necessary. However, the argument from some people inside the church and for other Christians from other traditions is they look at the Catholic Church and they say there are very few priests and leaders in the Catholic Church who are apostles, priests who are committed, prioritising the outsider, going outside the church's boundaries. And they argue that there are very few evangelists, priests who centre everything on proclaiming and having conversations, sharing the good news of encountering Jesus. Fewer still are there apostle evangelists, people together, priests who want to actually go out in order, not just to do social justice, not just to teach people to pray, but to actually proclaim Jesus more. There are very few. So anecdotally, in seminary, I had to suffer very good friends who were probably apostolic and evangelistic. They probably wouldn't have known that maybe at that time, but they dropped out. And you sometimes felt like they had a vocation. But they dropped out because the seminary is overly focused on academics, teaching, community life, shepherding, and liturgy, the prophetic, and not so much. We didn't ever really go out beyond the barrier, beyond the borders of the church, and we never really went out to talk about Jesus. We never really evangelized. Pope Francis in Evangelii Gaudium 27 said, "I dream of a missionary option that is a missionary impulse capable of transforming everything," meaning the parish he's talking about, "so that the church's customs, ways of doing things, times and schedules, language and structures can suitably be channeled for the evangelization of today's world rather than her self-preservation." So like St. Mark, Pope Francis, he's an apostolic evangelist. He dreams of parishes to be able to be set up to go out to evangelize. And I believe the reason why many people might think I'm really weird, and I am, I doubt, I know that, is I believe that the time has come in the church and is coming for a renewal. For there to be a renewal of baptized and priests, apostle evangelists, priests and lay people who can not only shepherd, teach, pray, do social justice as vital as they are, but also to go out to the whole world proclaiming the good news. And, in this parish, what we're trying to do is to live this out as best as we can. We do lots of prayer, rosary, devotions, divine mercy, sacraments, mass, confession. This is all prophetic. We also do food banks and St. Vincent de Paul Society. This is prophetic on a horizontal level. We do teas and coffees. We build relationships. This is shepherding. We love a good social here. We do sacramental preparation and Alpha family gatherings in order to teach. We do Alpha here intentionally because Alpha is apostolic. It helps us to go out to the non-churchgoers especially. And Alpha is evangelistic because it's focused exclusively not just on teaching people who have already committed their life to Jesus, but on just proclaiming the good news of Jesus. And in the future, what I plan is also to create a parish game plan. And this means it's going to be like a picture, literal picture, that show the 5 elements of parish life, being an apostle, prophet, evangelist, shepherd and teaching, into which we can invite all people to share with us. And I want all of us to live this way of life in as full a way as possible. To be a parishioner here means to be living these 5 aspects and way of life. This is the life into which Jesus calls us to live. This is the life into which St. Mark were created. And this is the life of the church that the Catholic Church has forgotten until now. And we together can live it out.